I knew you'd do it. Look at you. Look at you. Welcome
to
Multi-Box Live. Who is this guy over here? You know, where is Timmy Lord? Tim is working in Florida. I think he's trying to hit some breweries up this week and for some new business. And I think he posted on Facebook a little while ago. He was doing a little recon. He had a beer in front of his laptop somewhere. So, and shout out to Woodstock Inn and Brewery, one of our sponsor, who is one of his clients, and they do a great job, and they are amazing. And over here is, I guess, in the co-host seat today, Mr. Wesley Vivian Wyatt. Wes, how are you today?
Dynamite. If you're tuning in and wondering that is Tim gained an insane amount of weight and shaved his head, the answer is no.
Yep. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Do you you're not wearing green? I got a green shirt on. You're not wearing any green.
This shirt is green, believe it or not.
But you do have the green screen behind you there.
I do, and I have a green fidget spinner just in case somebody tried to run up and pinch me. I grab it real quick.
Gotcha. Well, we've got excited to have Bill Haisten on today from the Tulsa World. He is the sports columnist for the Tulsa World, and he'll be on in a couple of minutes. But I've got some shots on goal because we are doing shots on goal just like we always do. Everyone, America's team, the New England Patriots, are making moves. I mean, they opened up the purse strings like never before yesterday and, signed some massive contracts, signed the two best tight ends in free agency, making big things happen. And I'm still just worried about that quarterback position. You know, what do you do? And we'll see. We'll see if they move up in the draft. I read an article yesterday. They're talking about moving up in the draft and grabbing the BYU kid if they can. So we'll see how that goes. But they're making moves. I like that. It's America's team. Everyone should be happy. Right? Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Thank you. There you go. This next shot on goal bothers me a little bit. Okay. Hey, where's Brittany? I spell it right if you're going to comment, please. This next one bothers me a little bit, and I'm not sure why, but LeBron James is now a minority partner in the Red Sox, and I don't know how I feel about that because I don't like LeBron. If he was on the Celtics, I'd love LeBron, but I don't like LeBron. And because I don't like LeBron and now he's buying into my favorite team, I'm just like, I do I root for LeBron? I don't even know how am I supposed to feel about this, Wes?
Well, I'm an Ohio guy.
Because you're a LeBron guy.
I'm an Ohio guy. Okay. I am not a LeBron fan. As you can see on the wall behind me, I'm a Jordan guy. But LeBron, you're going to have to go whichever way you feel comfortable on that one because I'm not your guy on that.
Well, I don't know if there's any way to go. Like how, I just block it out? What do I do? I think I'm just going to block it out.
Just block it out.
It's just act like it's not happening and just move on. I have two more shots on goal. Cancel culture is back at it again. Pepe Le Pew is gone. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Yeah, Pepe Le Pew is gone. I guess the new Space Jam movie, he's not going to be in it. Now, apparently he was written out of that like a year ago, but it's just now coming to light. And who knew Pepe Le Pew was a rapist? I don't know if you're aware. But he was trying to rape all the little kiddies of the world. And I mean, all of that's kind of weird to me anyway. Like I as a child, I remember Pepe Le Pew. He was a skunk and he wanted to be with a cat, right? And the cats didn't want to be with him because he stunk. He was a skunk. Do we look back at those things like were Hanna and Barbera or whatever? Were they trying to or Walt Disney? Were they trying to brainwash us into like thinking that was? I just don't even know what to think. Like some of that stuff, I just don't know what to think.
Well, I haven't shot anybody in the face with a shotgun. I don't believe dogs talk. I won't do anything for a Scooby snack. And, I've never taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque. So I don't think it had any effect on me as a kid.
Yeah. Well, that's debatable. My goal, and this probably just bothersome to me. It has always driven me absolutely insane when people say supposedly. And it's supposedly. Well, guess what, supposedly, people? It's now officially a word. Like, I guess if you just say something wrong long enough, people will just say, well, okay, keep saying it. So supposedly is officially a word. And we were talking before the show about other words that will probably be, follow supposedly. What were those ones you mentioned?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, not good. Can't do that.
Irregardless.
I hate irregardless. It's regardless. It's just
regardless.
Irregardless. Just regardless.
And specifically.
Yes. That's just crazy talk. Adults need to figure it out and learn how to talk a little bit. So is Mr. Haisten in today?
Mr. Hastings is here, and I will bring him on right now.
Let's get him on, and I'm super excited to have Bill Haisten on the show today. I've known Bill. There he is. How are you, sir?
Fellas, I got a couple of more for you. Anytime somebody says that an injury has been re-aggravated, that ain't right. It's just been aggravated. That's it. You don't re-aggravate something. You just aggravate it. And then when this drives me nuts, references to someone's past history, because there ain't no such thing as a future history. It's just and then 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. It ain't 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's just 9 a.m. or it's just 9 a.m. in the morning. It's one or the other. It ain't both. So there you go.
I have a friend in the pizza business that a couple weeks ago said we were talking about cooking, and he had some dough that he'd frozen, and he said he was gonna unthaw it. I'm like, no, if you unthaw it, you're technically freezing it, right? Because if you unthaw it,
right?
So, hey, welcome Bill Haisten to the show. Bill is the sports columnist for the Tulsa World. I've known Bill for it seems like 25 years now. I think 20 years, and they're at TulsaWorld.com. Bill, I want to come right at you with the hard hitting stuff. My favorite college basketball player I ever saw play live was Eric Coley with Tulsa University. And if you remember Eric Coley, he's writing it down, right? Remember Eric Coley, and he could jump out of the gym. He was a great defender. He got better as he got older. He could fill it up when he had this amazing, remember like that jump stop shot thing that he had that blew people's mind?
Yep.
Who can say this is the greatest college basketball player I ever saw?
So Coley's your guy, huh? Coley is,
for me, he was.
I've been in Tulsa since 1990, and he's probably the most popular TU player in my time here. Now, I'm sure a couple of the Nolan Richardson era guys were rock stars.
Paul Pressey.
Oh, yeah, Pressey and those guys were rock stars in this town. But I would say that over time, Coley seems to have been the most popular guy on that great team that Bill Self nearly took to the Final Four 21 years ago. And amazing athleticism. It's a classic example, Eric, of a guy. If Coley had played in high school at Jinx or Norman North, he would have been in the Big 12. But he played at Eufaula,
right? And
so he was just a great find for Bill Self at the time, and developed into an amazing player. Coley was sensational for sure.
So who do you look at for you that you've actually seen live, top 2-3 college basketball players all time that you saw with your eyes?
Oh man. I mean, not just the guys I've covered, but the guys I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's so hard. OSU's had some really interesting guys. Desmond Mason Desmond Mason in person was pretty mind-blowing as an athlete.
Right.
My favorite player at OU during the Kelvin years was Hollis Price. I'm not saying he was the best, but he was an amazing floor general, fearless kid. He weighed about 155 pounds and totally fearless guy. I mean, Corliss Williamson at Arkansas in 94, 95 was an unstoppable force. But I mean, golly, you're asking me. I saw
They're coming for you, Wes.
Okay, now I'm going way back because I saw Hakeem Olajuwon play a game in college.
That's way back
with Drexler. Yep.
Yeah.
And so, but that particular day, Hakeem was just unstoppable. Where Drexler had a nice day. So, but Oh my goodness, there's just so many guys. Coley, if I did a list of 10, Coley would be on that list.
Yeah, he was just an incredible athlete.
Here's what Coley could do there, Eric, is he averaged like, let's say 12 points a game, but yet could dominate the game because of his athleticism and defense and rebounding. So
he was such a great defender on the ball and off the ball, and that's what I loved about him. You're right. He could dominate a game and score 12 points.
Right. No,
it was just insane to watch. Do you think Mike Boynton, are they going to back a truck up and pay him? What's going to happen with him?
Well, I don't know. They have to. I mean, but we're about to find out how deeply rooted the relationship is with Mike Boynton and OSU, because Minnesota job is open. He's been connected to that. South Carolina could open. That's his alma mater. So for Boynton to kind of reach this point in his career, Eric, OSU's really kind of lucky that there aren't very many Power 5 jobs that look like they're going to open, right? Because otherwise they would be at the top of the list or close to or one of. But he is the lowest paid guy in the Big 12 by a lot, by $500,000.
Yeah.
And the guy before him, Brad Underwood, was the lowest paid guy in the Big 12 by quite a bit. Well, he left.
Hold on. I want to cut in here. I want to ask you a question about Mike Boynton because, and I've really pulled away from college basketball probably the last 5-10 years, and I don't know why, but I feel like, and he's been the head coach at Oklahoma State, 3 years now? 4 years. I feel like he kind of – are we looking at a guy that underachieved for 3 years? Cade Cunningham comes in, has a great year. They've gotten better as the year's gone on. I think he's obviously a great recruiter, but is this going to be a guy that has one great season, underperformed, had one great season, got paid, and then next year we go back down to being average again?
I don't think so, because now that I've been around him pretty consistently for 4 years, he's super smart. He never does or says the wrong thing.
Gotcha.
I mean, think about these two, Eric. He has no OSU background, and he shows up in Stillwater, and he fits into the culture unbelievably well because he took the time to learn the culture. He always weaved references to Eddie Sutton and Henry Ave in his remarks, and pays respect to those guys.
Yep.
So I think Boynton is going to light it up anywhere he coaches. And as for the 3 seasons before this that weren't as satisfying, he was building, and I mean, they just had this terrible habit of getting off to bad starts in the Big 12. Then they had to fight their guts out to get kind of even in the league, and then to hope for an at-large. Well, this year they didn't get off to that bad start. And you're right about Cunningham. Cunningham is the perfect one and done because he's a real true team guy. Undoubtedly a rock star, really good player, but really fit into the team concept. Apparently a great partner for, I would say more of a partner than a player-coach deal with Boynton this year. But no, I just think that if Boynton had the wherewithal to recruit the number one guy in the country, who's to say he can't keep doing it? Maybe not at that level, but certainly at a winning level. And the guys around Cunningham are pretty good. Avery Anderson's a good player. The Boone twins, Boynton was on them a full year before anybody knew who they were.
I had that written down. How good can the Boone twins be?
Well, Caleb's already a year ahead of where I thought he would be at this point. Because at Memorial, they were just 6'7" kids who just dominated with their length and their size, right? And so they get the Big 12, and I thought, well, Caleb's going to struggle because he only weighs 175 pounds, or at the time anyway, and he's 205 today. Whereas Keelan could shoot the 3. I thought Keelan would make the greater impact immediately, and then Caleb would kind of year to year would gain a little muscle and not get pushed around in the paint so easily. Well, it's just been the opposite. Really, Caleb flourished as a freshman in some degree, but this year, the second half of the season, he's been fantastic. And so you have Moncrief, any given night, can give you 15, 17 points. Avery Anderson is really coming on. Likely, if he could stay on the floor, is an asset. So they've got a nice roster around Cade Cunningham. But here's the deal. I mean, if you let Boynton leave and you've got to start over, it's going to make the OSU people sick.
Right.
There's the going rate, the average in the Big 12 as we speak is about $3.4 million. Boynton's making 1.8, right?
Wow.
So, OSU's going to have to step up in a pretty significant way to keep him happy. And because as sick as the OSU people felt when Underwood walked 4 years ago, it'd be a lot tougher now that they've gotten attached to Mike Boynton. Yeah.
Right. Well, talking about Ohio State, how far do you have them going in the tournament? A, and then B, have you done a bracket? Do you have a Final Four?
Hey, I did a bracket. I thought I brought it over here. Hang on. Sorry.
By the way, what? Oh, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I did. No, how far do I have OSU going to the Sweet 16 and losing to Brad Underwood in Illinois? I think Illinois is great. Although I've got.
Did you like Brad Underwood? You interacted with him?
Yeah, I did. No, I thought he was a solid guy. I just didn't know what was going on behind the scenes that whole second half of the season with regard to interaction with him and Mike Holder and how Underwood, I guess, made it known fairly early in that season that, okay, you got me for $1 million, but now that we got it going, I'm going to want a bump. And I think he wanted $2 million, and OSU wouldn't go to $2 million, so Illinois hired him at 2.8. Wow. So he almost tripled his money by leaving. And but at least there wasn't, you lose him after 1 year, which is, like Tulsa losing Buzz Peterson after 1 year. I mean, you're upset about it. You feel like you would have had a nice run with that guy, but you didn't have a relationship yet with him.
Yeah.
Now with Boynton, they have that relationship.
Yeah.
And not only is he good with media and his players, but man, this guy just works the campus. Boynton, he just walks around the campus and talks with students and invites them to games and
well, hopefully he's not as inviting as Les Miles at Kansas. But
no, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Well, I want to hear your Final Four. I'm assuming you're going to have Gonzaga in there. They're the first team in 1,000 years to go undefeated through the regular season.
Yeah.
Meaning, this is a wonky season, but who's your Final Four? I'm going to write them down.
Okay, it is Gonzaga. I'm so sorry. Gonzaga, Florida State.
Okay.
Houston.
I
got Houston knocking out Illinois in the Elite Eight.
All right.
And then Baylor coming out of their region after defeating. I got Baylor beating Texas Tech in that regional final, Eric. So
gotcha. That Baylor team is good.
I got a Gonzaga Baylor championship game, and I got Baylor winning it.
Wow, look at you. Now, that's kind of a homer pick being a Texas guy, isn't it?
Not at all. No, I think their guards are so good, and they will have had, by the time we get into the tournament, they will have been pretty well distanced from their COVID break, which really set them back for a while.
Right.
They lost to Kansas. They lost to, oh my goodness, who else did they lose to? They lost twice.
Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Of course. And then
in the tournament, in the Big 12 tournament.
In the Big 12. And then did I just say Durr?
You did say Durr, but we'll just cut that. We'll edit this out.
I don't even know how to spell that.
I think it's DER, but that's neither here nor there. I know you're a music guy, and before we get to that, I don't know if you know this, but Wes is president of the Britney Spears Fan Club of Ohio. I don't know if you've ever seen Britney Spears live, or if you know her. If you got any connections, please let us know. You can find Wes on Twitter at Oops Wes Did It Again. By the way, you can find Bill at Bill Haisten. He's got 10,000 followers on Twitter and a lot of great sports stuff. But Bill, listen to one album the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, golly.
I knew you would maybe pee your pants on this question. So,
one album. Now, see, but after about 2 weeks of it, I would just want to kill myself. But The Wall by Pink Floyd is such an amazing album, and it's got everything in the entire music spectrum on it, from beautiful strings to powerful guitars and big sound, and it's just an amazing album.
So that's your answer?
Yeah, damn. Michael Jackson's Thriller album's a pretty good album, I gotta say. It's a great record.
So is that your answer?
No.
No.
You know what? I'd have to think about bringing Springsteen's The River album.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Good.
So that your final answer?
No, I'll go with Pink Floyd.
All right, that's that. I figured you'd go there.
It's a great. It's a masterpiece.
This is a writing question because we have a lot of authors that are on the show. I'm curious to know, A, if you ever thought about writing a book, but B, this is kind of really my real question. You ever write something after a game's over and you mentally feel like exhausted because you watched the game, which we watch the game when we go home. You watch the game and then you go to work, right? Do you ever watch a game, you feel mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, then you have to write an article. Do you ever write an article and you're like, freaking hell, that's a great article? Do you ever write something and just have a moment where either A, this is kind of like, it was all right, or this was really good?
Yep. Yeah, all the time.
Okay, next question.
Actually, no, I'll give you a recent example. Tulsa and Mississippi State had that terrible fight at the end of the ball game.
Yep.
And I had watched the entire game and thinking, about different options on directions. And then you have this terrible brawl, right?
Yeah.
So who knew to expect that?
Yeah.
And then when I write it and when I finish it, I gave it a quick read and thought, this is good. I'm happy with this, and sent it to the house. So no, it happens. I mean, just because I think I'm happy, just because I'm happy with it, doesn't mean the reader's going to fall in love with it. But yeah, right. Typically, I feel good about what I'm submitting.
Well, that's a lot like making pizza, though. You have to make a pizza you like, and you're not going to please everybody all the time with what you make. But have you thought about writing a book? Have you thought about becoming an author? Or is there anything?
A book. The book I would most want to write would be the sequel to Bootlegger's Boy, the Switzer, Chapter 2 of Switzer's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have talked with Barry about that.
Yeah.
And he says when he left the Dallas Cowboys, he took a buyout, right? And part of the condition on the buyout, which was pretty generous, was no more books. Can't do a book.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. And so
it's been a long time though, right?
Yeah. Since Bootlegger's Boy, or since
since he took a buyout, and surely
24 years. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, surely at this point he could say whatever he wanted to, right?
No, he'd have to give that money back.
Nah, come on.
It's on paper, man. I'm just saying. We have talked about it, and I think Barry would love to do a second book. I mean, look what he's done with his second life after football. It'd be a great book. But beyond that, no, I mean, there's a lot of people and topics and whatever that I would love to write about. But if I could just pinpoint one topic, Barry Switzer.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you? I was going to ask you about a Mount Rushmore of sports. You get four guys, and normally we try to do hockey, basketball, baseball, and football. But I don't want to hold you to hockey unless you want to. But do you have a Mount Rushmore of any four guys you like?
Yeah, well, MJ would be at the top of it, and that's easy. Willie Mays.
Wes perked up there. He's like, whoa, MJ.
No, Michael Jordan is in my lifetime the guy. Now, my favorite baseball athlete is a guy who really had sort of aged out by the time I really started watching baseball. But Willie Mays, I've got a bookshelf over here with about 5 Willie Mays books in it, and I love to watch YouTube greatest hits loops on Willie Mays. He's my favorite baseball athlete. Muhammad Ali is a no-brainer of an additional Mount Rushmore guy. Yep. And I would say probably, because I feel obligated to have at least one Dallas Cowboy because of my lifetime investment in the Cowboys, Roger Staubach. Yeah. Yep.
I love it. Muhammad Ali. I mean, wow. How can you leave? How do you leave him off of Mount Rushmore of sports? Will OU's 47-game win streak ever get broken?
No, I don't think so. No, I
No
mean,
way, no how.
no, I mean, anytime a team gets to, Clemson, had Clemson won it, they could have gone into next year with a chance to tie it.
Right.
And so anytime somebody even creeps up on the 30 mark, you're like, oh, it's so impressive to get to 30 because only about 6 teams have ever done it. And then you got 47. Holy smokes, that's another season and a half.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I just don't. And part of it is too is that the great players at the great programs are gone after 3 years.
Yeah.
You don't have any super team that's just loaded with fourth year type guys. You just don't. And I think that's what it would take is a band of guys to come in together, stay together for 4 years, and to get that kind of a record. And I just don't see it. And the one guy, I think he could do it. I don't even know what Nick Saban's longest streak has been, but I don't know that Nick's even won 20 in a row.
That's a good question. I'm sure Wes can look that up. He's our crack stat guy. He'll know the answer to that. Hey, can you talk about the sales side of the sports page? And I don't know. I don't know if I remember this, if I heard this, or did I make this up? Is the sports section the most read section of the newspaper? Seems like I heard that or read that.
Well, if it isn't, it's certainly the most reacted to, and it's certainly, if not first place, probably tied for first place. But we, with regard to social media movement, reach, reaction, sports is, I mean, the industry has changed, but that part of it hasn't. I mean, sports.
Well, that kind of leads into what I wanted to ask you. The whole industry has changed, but it still takes a guy like you to watch the game and write a column, and whether that column goes online, and hopefully the advertisers are going, they're putting money online versus maybe in a print paper now. How talked about in your industry is that from a sales side, from the sales department? Are they saying, how does that work internally?
I don't know, because I've been at the world 30 years and I don't know one person on our sales staff now. None.
Really?
No, they're on a different floor altogether. No.
Stupid salespeople.
No, I don't even know how much obviously their day to day has changed 100% in the last 15 years.
Right.
But how they do what they do today, I have no idea. I'm sure it still involves it, just like in your business. I mean, it's all about relationships and sustaining them and building new ones. But beyond that, it's just my job and Kelly Hines' job and Gary Neming's job just to grind, man. I mean, we publish, I used to say we publish 7 days a week, which we do, but in reality, we publish 24 hours a day is what we do.
Well, exactly. And that's part of how it's changed as well, is we're not just waiting for the paper to hit the news, to hit the front porch the next day. It's instantly, and we're instantly looking for information. I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite pizza in Tulsa, Bill? There you go. There's a question for you right there.
You talking about restaurant?
Yeah, Craig Hilbert just commented down here and said, Bill, what's your favorite pizza place in Tulsa?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite pizza, but it's no worse than tied for the gold medal. But as a place to have pizza, I like Savastano's. I like Savastano's a lot.
Great answer.
But I mean, kidding? It just depends on when the urge hits me and where I am at the moment. Because I may go to Antoni's, and I'm not a snob. I think Mazzio's is a good place. So I'm cool. But just to sit and watch a ball game and have a pizza, I'm gonna go to Savastano's.
I want to throw out a few names that the local folks will know, and you and I have had interactions with. And if you want to give a sentence or two about these guys, the first one is Al Jerkins.
Well, he was one of the first people I met when I moved here. I mean, literally like the first week after I moved here. And for some reason clicked, immediately. And then he got me. And so we had a great friendship from the beginning. And then Al got me involved in radio in 2006. Right. And he invited me. He said, "Can you come do the Thursday show with me?" I said, of course. I go do the show. We're going on the elevator, and he says, that was great. Oh, I said, that was great. And he said, okay. And then about halfway down, he says, I don't think you understand. I want you to come every Thursday.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah. Anyway, so Al Jerkins is here's my boy Al.
Yeah, I have one of those around here somewhere too. Al, the Tulsa Oiler bobblehead Al. Al and I had our run-ins, obviously, being a Red Sox game.
Right.
We had some classic stuff. Another name for you, Chris Plank.
Chris is it's so crazy. I mean, to hear Chris on these national platforms now and to turn on TV and he's doing all this stuff for OU. And I remember I met Chris when he was a student at TU, and he would run the board like at the Buzz and do odd jobs for Bruce Howard. And he's just this kid, and he just stuck with it. And he let's see, in '98, Dave Garrett had that show.
Oh yeah,
Dave lost that job, and then Chris, at the age of golly, Eric, I don't know, 20,
he was young,
22 maybe.
Yeah.
Gets a show, and he and Poplin, who was about the same age,
right?
Man, they clicked. They had great chemistry. It was trial and error for them for a little bit, and once they hit their stride, and they were great. So yeah, I really like Chris Plank.
Pat Jones.
Pat. Coach Jones has treated me like a brother. It's just crazy. I knew him from OSU. Obviously, he goes away for a decade. He comes back, starts radio. And so just over the last, 15, as the next month, I will have been at the Animal 15 years and Pat 16 years. And we talk, whether I'm doing the show or not, we talk every day, texting. He finally learned how to text. And it's cool, too, because every message he sends you, regardless of the content, he puts a football emoji on it. So
nice.
Football. And so, no, Pat has been unbelievably good to me. And after my most recent knee surgery, he sent me he had a plate of food shipped me that was unbelievable. So he's a great friend. He's a great friend and a fun guy to do radio with. And if I could somehow bottle the stuff during the commercial breaks, oh my gosh.
Pat Jones and I had a run-in one day when.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, we had several. Pat Jones. This is on the local sports animal, and I used to call in a lot when I was driving for my sales job. And there was one day I called in, and they were talking about something had gone on with Baker Mayfield or Rhett Bomar or something, and he made the comment about why is nobody following this kid around every day. And so I called in. And I said, well, did you have somebody following around, Barry Sanders every day? And he said no. And I said, well, I thought you were a smarter coach than that.
Oh,
and he said, hang up on him and somebody needs to launch his dumb ass to the moon was his words. And I got banned for 30 days. So not the first time I got banned and not the last. But
well, your more famous scrape at the Animal was with Bill Watts.
Well, Bill Watts was the next name I had on here. Tell the story. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't remember what you guys were disagreeing about or whatever, but basically you threatened to come up there and what wrestling hold did you
I was going to put a figure 4 leg lock on his old ass. Is what I threatened.
Oh my Lord. And then
he got pissed.
He countered with he said you were trying to commit suicide by cowboy.
Yeah. I could tell he was very angry at me, and you want to meet me in the parking lot. And I don't know if he was angry. Maybe that was just like the wrestler thing coming out of him, but it was just hilarious. And it made for great radio because I think he was on the whole week, and I called in every day and antagonized the hell out of him, which was fun for me. Right. So the last one I had on here to ask you about was Jimbo Elrod, who I affectionately used to call Jumbo Elbow. And he angry at me about that. And I'll tell you my Jimbo Elrod story before you talk about him. But we were at the airport and we were going to fly to Boston. It was a Friday morning, and I hear kind of that high pitch, Red Sox here, Red Sox here. And I turn and look, and there he is. And he walks up, and he was going to an OU game that weekend, and we started talking. And he said, I want you to do me a favor. want you to close your eyes. Go close your eyes. Okay. I want you to picture yourself in your mind in the greatest physical shape you were ever in, ever. I said, okay. Open your eyes and look at me. He goes, I could whip his ass right now. And I'm like, you just won. There he is. There's Jimbo right there.
Yeah, it was one of the very, very brutal, sad funeral. It was beautiful. His funeral was beautiful and just gut wrenching. And Barry Switzer that day, unbelievable, his message that day. But Jimbo, I saw Jimbo about 2 weeks before that at Reese's, and he pulls me aside in the produce department at Reese's, and we just had the best talk.
Yeah.
And like Joe Washington says, he was impossibly good looking, and just I'll say this: if you want to know, if you want to have a higher level of respect for guys who play football at a high level, Jimbo Elrod later in life had the worst joint pain in his hips, his elbows, every knees. Everything, and it was, and he didn't play that much beyond OU. He played for the Chiefs for a couple of years, but
But he was a college wrestler too, and
a great wrestler. Yeah,
all that just wreaked havoc on him. Do you have any other favorite guests or anybody that you've been on the radio with that you distinctly remember?
Probably the most memorable radio guest was Mike Tyson, and I stressed to his media guy, listen, we don't have a 7-second delay. So, man, it's really important for Mike to not use profanity, which, and the guy said, I'll mention it to him. And so he came on with us to promote his show at the Hard Rock. He did his one-man show at the Hard Rock.
Yeah, and I remember that.
So he comes on with us. He was great, and he and Coach Jones really clicked, and they had a really nice exchange. Now, I guess I should say, of my 40 years in the business, my favorite day, April '93 or May '93, I can't remember the date, but I had lunch with Ali and Frazier at Nelson's Buffeteria downtown. I don't know why I'm pointing like you guys.
Over downtown.
Where I am right now, but I'm pointing to the north. But anyway, they were in town for a Tulsa charity fight night event, and I get a call a couple of days before that. Do you want to have lunch with Ali and Frazier?
No brainer. People,
and I said, well, of course. And Bill Connors and I went and sat with those guys for nearly 2 hours, and this is crazy, but it was somebody very recently, and I mean in the last 4 months or so, shared a photo that he had taken of me and Ali together that day, and I'd never seen it before. So,
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I've always been upset with myself for not making it a point to be photographed. Not that I never asked anybody to take a picture with me or whatever, except Ali's the one guy I would have.
Sure,
I didn't think to do it, and so this guy sends me this picture. I don't even know where it is now, but my jaw dropped, and I just thought I should do something with that picture. I should have it framed.
Yeah. But that's super cool.
Ali was 51, and he had just reached a point, Eric, where he could barely speak above a whisper, and yet he and Frazier together that day. It's the first time they had been together in an eye contact sort of way in the same close quarters since their third fight.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing. What a cool moment, right? What a cool moment that you just can't turn that down, right? That would be the equivalent of like, hey, do you want to go see Britney Spears with Wes? Like, yes, I'm going to that.
You know what? I'm so anxious for live music again. I would go see Britney Spears. I mean, this is the longest since the first time I went to my first concert at 14. This is by far the longest I've ever gone without a concert. So, oh my gosh, yeah, I would go see Britney Spears.
What was your first concert?
Doobie Brothers.
Okay.
Amarillo, Texas.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions left for you. This one,
all right.
What are you insecure about?
Insecure about. Oh man. Well,
Nothing. You get
I guess
shit
I
I'm
can
insecure about.
confess. I guess I can confess that. See, I don't have a college degree. I didn't study journalism in college, so I knew as a third grader I was going to become a sports writer because I wrote a paper about it, and I just knew I was going to because I had a gift for writing.
Yeah,
Which is true. I never passed Algebra 1. I failed it twice. I can't do math. I can't process math, but I could always write.
Hmm.
And so there's always been a part of me that's always felt like, man, you better be you. I can't be good. I've got to be great.
right.
I'm always like the only person in the room that doesn't have a journalism degree, right?
Right.
And so sometimes I'll realize, man, you've been doing it your whole life, and you're okay. You'll be all right. But sometimes, you just sometimes I remind myself, no, you still got some proving to do. So it's probably a great motivator for me. It only cost me one job ever at the Houston Chronicle a while back. Had I had a degree, they would have hired me for a significant position. Then they found out I didn't, and I'm like, I'm the same guy you were ready to hire 20 minutes ago.
Right. Insecurity is a great motivator, or it's a great paralyzer. It paralyzes the heck out of some people too. And for you, it's obviously even being in the Tulsa world for 25 years now, it still motivates you obviously to in the back of your mind to write great articles.
Right. No, I mean, if I had to, for some reason, walk away today, I'd be pretty proud of my career. And but it took me working at 6 smaller papers before I got to the Tulsa world. You know what I mean? And but even there was value at every place, and I've met a million great people. And I got to meet people like Eric Burns and Nick Burns, and so it's crazy. I mean, I thought I'll come to Tulsa for 2 years and go back to Texas, and now I can't even fathom leaving Tulsa. I mean, I love it, and it's home now, and so I'm a full-fledged Okie now.
Oh yeah, I'm going to throw out a name, and I just want to hear anything you want to say. Just any Mike Gundy.
Is it a one-word response?
No, anything, just whatever you care to say, because I don't want to load a question. Whatever, Mike Gundy, just thoughts from you.
He's Mike has had two chapters in his run as the head coach. One was before his first big contract. One was subsequent to his first big contract. So I think Mike would be served. I think it would serve Mike well to kind of remember what made him successful in the beginning, and to kind of it's not that he's going to like give all that money back, but he needs to kind of, I think Mike needs to go back and examine what made him good the first 5 or 6 years, and revisit that and get some of that back. Otherwise, I mean, he is a Mount Rushmore guy at OSU, and he has been involved. This stat blows my mind, Eric, but he has been involved in 30% of all football games played in the history of the program. 30%. Wow. As an assistant, a quarterback, a head coach, 30% of all games.
How long do you think he's going to be there?
Well, his son now is a freshman quarterback.
Right.
So at least that long. Mike is 50. Let's see. Good grief. Mike was born in 67, so Mike is 53. He'll be 54 in August. I would say probably 60. He's going to be ready to just go farm.
Yeah.
Go farm on a full-time basis. So
you ask a lot of people questions. And I don't know if you ever kind of sit in this situation where you get asked all the questions. Is there a question or two you wish that we would ask that you would say, man, I'd love to talk about this, but nobody ever asked me about it?
No, I'm just so wired to be on the other end of it.
Right.
I mean, I get asked a lot about, not necessarily my career so much as just like what is Mike Gundy really like, or what is Pat Jones really like, or whatever. And or what I hear more than anything is that people, when guys say, you're so lucky. And I think, yeah, you're right. Actually, I am. Because I mean, whether you want to be a fireman or an astronaut or a rock star, whatever. I mean, how many people really get to be and do what they aspired to do when they were kids, little kids?
Right.
And this is
Right.
all I've done. So, yeah,
Right.
I mean,
You live a pretty charmed life. I mean, I have a fake eye. You're damn near close to a fake leg at this point. But I have
right.
a charmed life just like you do. Hey, will you talk for a minute about what your surgery you got going on? And not I don't want to see your leg or anything, but
Nobody does.
what we talked about yesterday, which is get checked for any possible, nickel or anything.
Well,
For a second,
yeah, I all right. So
whatever you can talk about.
You know this, that I've always played a lot of pickup basketball, right?
Yep.
And so in 17, I tore my meniscus again, and for like the third time. And the advice from a doctor was, let's replace your knee. You'll have a great outcome. You're in shape. You'll blow right through this. I said, okay, let's do it. And so they did the procedure in 2018, and it just wouldn't heal. And then they did 2 more procedures within a matter of a few months, and it just looked awful, and it felt worse. And then so I went to a different doctor, and he did some blood work and determined that I was historically insanely allergic to nickel. And they said, okay, we got to get that out of you. They cut it out of me. But yet, okay, here now we are in 2021. I've had 2 procedures this year. One was a third replacement, and the other 2 weeks ago was just a follow-up procedure. So 3 procedures in 2.5 years. It has been a life changer, to say the least. And so that's my message, is for anybody who might get a replacement or knows somebody who's going to get a replacement, bang the table and insist on an allergy test, because it is not standard practice. Why it's not is beyond me. It blows my mind. If you think about what they're doing to you, they're putting something in you. You want to know that your body's going to not reject it. So, but yeah, no, I've got scars on top of scars. Well, I shared a picture with you, right?
Yeah, you sent me that picture, and I was eating dinner, and I damn my mouth when I saw it. It was so disgusting. I think you're just such a handsome light guy when you're out. I've been out when we were, I was single and you were single, and I had to beat the women off of him with a stick. I think this is God's way of like, let's tone this down a little bit. Let's ugly this guy up a little bit to where if he's in some shorts, some of the women are like, whoa, no, stop. Because I can tell you, charisma just oozes out of this dude when we're out. Bill, how tall are you? 6'3", 6'4"?
6'3".
Yeah, so we're the same height. So we go out, and we were back there single, and a couple of tall, good-looking dudes walk in, but this guy, just women just right to him. I would just try and jump in front of one and get in the middle of the tractor beam of chicks.
This went so well until now. I was so happy with it until now. This is like the Billy Madison scene. Where, what does the guy say? We're all more stupid for having heard this.
Bill, that is all I have. Thank you so much for being on.
Also, this was all fabricated by Eric, and I don't know where he got any of that crap. I was trying to find that picture of me and Ali because I'm so proud.
I know you were. I can tell you're looking at your phone. There. Let's see.
I'm so proud of it.
Your hair then?
There it is.
That's you?
That's me.
Doesn't even look like you.
Yep. Me and Ali.
You're gonna have to email that to me so I can post that in the link on.
Never forget that day.
So everybody can see it, because that's cool. Well, thank you for being on. Bill has been just an amazing friend and great to listen to one of my favorite people on the radio. Definitely has a face for radio and does really well.
That's not that crap you were saying a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's probably more true. Bill, thank you so much for being on. Wes, you got any questions for our man today or what?
No questions, but I got to tell you, I'm absolutely not surprised at all that Eric was the guy calling up a radio station and harassing people. Mm-hmm. He does that to us all the time. So he hasn't really stopped. It just changed mediums.
Hey,
now I get to do this every week. He
was the first real kind of a cornerstone everyday caller, I would say, when the Animal launched in 2005. I can think of a couple others. Texas George and a couple.
I bought these from Texas George.
That's awesome. Okay, but
Yeah.
Eric was like I say, a cornerstone charter member of the Animal Club, and I didn't even know his full name for years. I just thought he was Red Sox Eric, and yeah, he got crossways with Coach Jones, and he got crossways with Bill Watts.
Everybody, Al, everybody.
That's right.
Yeah, I never got cross with Bill though. I don't think I tried a couple times, but he's too easy going.
No, man, no,
it's too easy going.
Well, hey,
look, we're gonna get out of here, Bill. Thank you for your time. Next week we've got just big shoes to follow after Bill, but Sharon Tiger, who she is all about, Bill, this is about sports and sales and marketing, but she's all about, she has a company and her thing is to deliver, how do you deliver super high quality customer service? She calls it delivering the woo. And I love it. And how do you get better when you're running a business and take care of your customers? Because in the world we live in, customers can come and go very easily.
Well, I would think the secret there would be to take the golden rule and apply it to that, just like you would anything else, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Nick Saban, his longest win streak was 26. So that shows you where the OU streak is.
Yeah, damn near a whole season short.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I'll keep talking. What else? You got anything else you want to throw out, Bill? You're just throwing stuff.
No, I'm good. If we keep doing this, I'm going to plug in a guitar and just start playing here. I haven't played publicly in a long time, so.
Well, let's go, baby. You're on the interwebs.
You took it to such a ridiculous place. I might as well. No, I'm not going to do it.
There used to be a place called what was it called? SoCo. It was down at 81st and Harvard in Tulsa, and I was out there one night with Bill. Oh my God. I had to get a 2x4 out, just whack the women off of him, Wes. There was a band playing called Stars, and he was making moves, and oh gosh, it was craziness.
You said it yourself a few minutes ago. That is the exact antithesis of what I am, which is chill in the corner and appreciate the music. That's all I do. So
yeah, he didn't make any moves, Wes. So
no, I did not.
All right, we got to go. Have a great day, everybody. And Bill, this is how we sign out of this thing. We do this.
Oh, okay. I just